Welcome everybody to the Eavesdrop podcast. Thank you for joining. We have a great show in store for you tonight. Hopefully, all those that are hip hop heads, you guys are going to be in for a good treat. So let's go ahead and get started meeting everybody so that we can get this show on the road. Big T, how you doing, sir?
I'm feeling good. This is about to be a great show. You guys are in for a good treat. Sean Henderson, it's good to see you here, my brother.
Fucking good to be seen and not viewed, my brother.
That's right.
Mr. Paul, how you doing, sir?
Solid, man. I'm happy to be here. I'm ready for this pod. Talking about hip hop.
That's right. All you hip hop heads, stay tuned. We're about to introduce our guest. We're going to introduce Deadeye, battle rap legend, Sean Henderson. Welcome to the show.
Hey, appreciate you, brother. I don't know if I'm a legend, but I'm definitely etched in some motherfuckers' brains.
Hip hop head.
Yeah.
Digital marketing guru.
Yeah.
Automotive expert.
Yeah.
Right on. So when we hear about battle rap, there's what we call a rap Olympics.
Yeah.
And so, all right. And then I think you got a good accolade. You defeated one of the guys that defeated Eminem.
Yeah.
How that
So
works?
Seriously?
yeah. Nah, so it's actually I wouldn't even say defeated. We just call it served them and shit. You know what I'm saying? Defeated is kind of disrespectful.
Like you got served, like the
Niggas
movie?
disrespectful. This nigga defeated me. Feel like the Rocky Russian and shit. Defeat Mother Russia.
Fatality.
Yeah. So served, man. But it's all relative, right? So battle rap, the whole 8 Mile shit, that's real shit. Like we really lived that, man, back in like the early 90s. So it was a spot everybody used to go to in LA, which was gang neutral, right? Because like everybody had you had niggas from Pasadena and you had people from Long Beach, from LA, then the IE and shit. And I migrated from Long Beach to the Inland Empire, so niggas was like, he's a IE nigga, but he's still from LA and Long Beach. So we all had this one spot. It was called the GABA. It was off of Melrose. And everybody used to kind of congregate there, and they had this spot called Elements that everybody used to basically converge on. And so it was like the battle rap mecca. So like you had all the major underground artists that were performing at the time were basically there. So like Mos Def would show up. You would have, Jurassic 5 come through, just all the original, underground hip hop heads. Anyway, at the end of every night, they would have the MC battle. And so the homie Pronoun, who's from Pasadena, shout out to Pronoun. He would host it. So they would put out a list and we write the list down and they would create these brackets and shit. And so shout out to the homie Poseidon. I think I was maybe like 17 years old when he took me and Triune, the homie Triune, to this first rap battle we had ever been to at Elements. So we had been, battling all over the Inland Empire, Foundations, Claremont, like a lot of these little underground spots. So he was like, yo, y'all got to come to this spot. So the club was 21 and over. So he basically got us to the door and snuck us in and shit. So we get there, and I ain't no way I look like I was fucking over 21 at that time. I had the baby face, no beard, you know what I'm saying? Like I was probably 175 pounds, soaking wet, but talked a lot of shit, right? So we get to this spot, security like, yo, let us see your photo ID and shit, and like we just like kind of slide in and we get up in there, and we kind of hover around, and man, it's like ciphers everywhere. Like B-boys dancing in the middle, Bonds and DJ Gabriel spinning on the mixes and shit. And it's like a real urban underground nightclub. And so we go into the back and it's like a bunch of niggas in ciphers. It's like 2 or 3 ciphers and niggas just spitting. And so I'm right at home. Like I get there, it was like, we called it the Lion's Den. It's just a bunch of gladiators. So I roll into the back. And, I jump into a cipher. I hear niggas and I immediately just like, niggas start battling like right off the jump. So they hear us battling and shit. And then they come around like, hey, yo, you need to get on the list. Like, what list? They're like, yeah, the battle rap list. Like we got brackets and shit and we need to start putting motherfuckers on the list. So I'm like, yeah, whatever. Sign me up, sign a nigga, whatever. Like, but we not knowing like who's like in the spot because it's like legendary niggas. So otherwise is probably one everybody knows him. He's a LA battle rap legend. Came from Project Blowed in LA. Shout out to Project Blowed. And he, you know, at the time, him and his brother Peace were like battle rap legends and shit. So he was in the battle, not that particular night, but he was always in the battle. There's another homie, Loud. Shout out to Loud. Dotted Line, C4, just a bunch of MCs, Poseidon, all signing up for these battles. So Poseidon signs me up for the battle. So we get in there and we battle a couple brackets and shit. And like, it's crowd oriented, right? So it's like, hey, spit something, crowd's gonna cheer. So this is why I was telling you, having a mic control is important because people got to be able to hear what you're saying. So by that time, I was 17 years old, but I've been rapping for shit probably like 12, 13 years. So I was already like acclimated with stage presence and all that other shit. So I ended up winning. That first night I won a battle. They give you $100 and shit. We, you kids, $100 in 1997, 98.
Shit.
Yeah,
you went to Thrifties and went nuts.
Shit, right?
Yeah.
So I won $100, and I'm like, yo, this is crazy. And we driving like we're not even supposed to be driving to LA. We driving to LA, and then on top of everything is Sunday night, so you got school the next day.
Oh yeah.
So I ended up winning the battle, and then we went to school the next day, and we got to having the conversation like, oh yeah, Deadeye won the battle and shit. So then we just kind of made it like a weekly thing where we were going every week, and everybody. So I was winning a lot of battles. So one week, Otherwise would win, and Loud would win, and Poseidon would win, C4, but I had started to rack up these wins, and so like it was, hey yo, these two niggas need to battle, like Deadeye and Otherwise. So while we would go to the ciphers in the back, there would be a couple going on. He would be in one. I kind of creep over and try to get up in the cipher to like start trying to sharpen the blade on the nigga, and the nigga would leave. He'd duck out, right? So I jump in the other cipher. He was kind of like, I wouldn't say he was avoiding me, but there was definitely a respect there. Like, yo, who's the new lion in the lion's den and shit. And so hopefully I'm not getting too deep into it. So prior to all of that, he was the guy that had beat Eminem in the Rap Olympics. Otherwise had beat Eminem in the Rap Olympics. So basically what had happened was Eminem was like the new and upcoming battle rap dude. Everybody wanted to, fucking get at him. And he had came to LA. If I remember the story correctly, he had came to LA to like get on the Wake Up Show. Cause at the time, Sway and Tech and the Wake Up Show, we would all go up there and hang out. And he was there at that particular time and was doing his like little LA tour, because that's where Dr. Dre basically had signed him from.
That's right. Yeah.
So he had went to the Rap Olympics, if I remember correctly. I didn't go that particular year, but this was like about a year or two before I had like kind of jumped into the scene out there. But Eminem had he was spitting some shit, and Otherwise jumped on stage and got him back, and it was going back and forth, and basically Wise just served the fuck out of him. Like just cut him. And the thing about Wise, his stage presence and charisma is fucking amazing. Like, he's a little small, short dude, but just funny, dog. And like, he just has this presence about him where he's unshakable. And you figure out real quick when you battle the nigga that he's unshakable. So full circle. Oh, you want to chime in?
Oh no.
Oh, so full circle comes. Triune and all the homies will ride with me. They're like, man, this battle needs to happen between you guys, man. Like, this got to happen. So one night, my homie Pronouns, hey, you on the list. I got you and Otherwise on opposite brackets. So it was the first time we had ever been in an Elements battle together. He was like, I got you guys on this opposite bracket. And I'm like, oh, yeah, all right, cool. So, the whole time I'm thinking like, all right, I got to get ready for this nigga. Because back then it wasn't you write your verses and then you practice them and you diss somebody. No, it was like the beat comes on, spur of the moment, whatever's off your head, that's what you're going to spit.
So really freestyling.
1000%. Like the shit you do now when they be like, oh, Wake Up Show, we're on free.
Yeah.
That is not a freestyle. I'm talking like beat. You have whatever beat they throw on, you got to rap to it. They ain't no, hey, switch the beat.
Yeah.
Whatever they put on, that's what you're rapping over.
Like that Drake And he was like, yeah, okay. Is this how you feel? Is this how you feel? Okay. Oh, you gonna do me like that? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Oh, when I came to New York, I've been here for about 2 weeks. And he never jumped in on the beat.
Bro, so there was nothing. Like if you did that shit, they boo you off the
Right.
stage.
You
Like
gotta
so
get
that
it,
whole
man.
8 Mile, like I laugh about it because that's literally that's life. That's what you lived, right? And I ain't never been booed off no stage.
That's lit.
So I was like, all right, well, so we go through the brackets and shit. They call everybody up to the stage, and like the stage is like right in front of you. So like people could dap you up, whatever. Like, and it's a bunch of niggas in the spot. And everybody's up front. So, we go through the first couple rounds of shit. I win, he wins, and then the brackets just start shaping up. Then it's like, the battle rap finals and shit. We got my man Deadeye. Oh shit. Everybody was like, ooh. We got my man Otherwise. Ooh. So we waiting. And man, probably for the first time ever, man, I was nervous as fuck. I was like, yo, I'm about to battle. It's his crowd. Like the niggas from Leimert Park. He's from LA. He's the hometown favorite. I'm some light-skinned young nigga coming from the Inland Empire trying to take this nigga's crown. And
you came with 3 homies.
Well, I have more homies in there. Like everybody kind of like intermingled in there, but for the most part, that's his crowd.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? So I kind of had won the crowd over a period of a long time of rapping and, winning battles over the week. So long story short, whoever wins the coin toss, basically the way battle rap works is whoever goes first typically will lose, unless your first verse is so crazy that you like the nigga ain't gonna recover from it. So they did the coin toss and I lose. It's like, otherwise, what you want to do? He was like, it's on my man Deadeye. I'm like, damn, I gotta go first. Like, fuck.
Pressure is on.
Man, and they turned the beat on and shit. And like, man, I could like immediately feel like my throat choke up and shit. And I'm like, all right. So I start spitting and I was kind of like, it was making sense, but I was like jumbling over my words, but it was dope as fuck, but it wasn't to where I, like everybody else who don't rap thinks it's dope. I'm critiquing myself like it wasn't strong enough. Like the verse wasn't strong enough. So then the nigga spit second and he just he decimated me. I'm not even gonna fucking front, nigga. He decimated me. And then I did some shit like the one thing that battle taught me in battle rap and everybody told me is don't move around on stage because you give somebody you give them ammunition to catch you. And so like this nigga was rapping and I was like, and then like I was like trying to like mimic him and the nigga was like up, faked him. Like everybody's like, I was like, oh, that damn. Got my ass. And then I took my hat off and the nigga was like, put your hat back on. This isn't a commercial for Calvin Klein. Oh, shit. So the nigga, he got me. He won. And it was like, man, that ride home, bro, was like, man, we were talking about it and we were just thinking about it the whole time. We was conversating like, you fucked up, dog. Like you had your opportunity to get the nigga and he pummeled your ass, nigga. And I was like, so I had that Assassin's Creed, thought process for like the next couple weeks. Like, I'm gonna get this nigga back.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get him back. And long story short, I didn't end up getting to battle him for a long time because I would get in, he wouldn't get in. He find out I was on the list, he wouldn't get in, or I wouldn't be there on certain nights. And then I don't know if you guys remember Ruckus Records. Mos Def was on Ruckus Records. You had DJ High Tech.
Yep.
So DJ High Tech was having his album release party at Elements. And like this is like everybody was there. Mos was there, Talib Kweli was there, like anybody who was anybody from like the hip hop scene was there in LA. So I ended up hopping in the battle and he hopped in the battle. And we ended up in the finals again. But this time it's like 5 times as many people. And I'm like, I'm ready for you.
And what is it, like about a year later, 2 years later?
About 6 months, 8 months. Yeah, 6-8 months. But like 6-8 months in the battle rap shit is a long time, right? Because like everybody done heard your bars.
Yeah.
So you gotta like keep it fresh. So that time comes around and we get to a point where we're like, it's us on the last bracket. Coin toss comes. I win the coin toss.
Oh yeah.
I was like, that nigga goes first. I was like, that nigga goes first. And you could see in his face, like, he already knew, like, damn, like, and it was $500 on the line and a Ruckus bag with like all the vinyls from like all the Ruckus artists at the time.
Dope.
Which back then was, $500 again was a lot of money, bro.
Yeah.
So, so he goes first, and I just was like eating that shit up. I'm like, this nigga's. I'm just looking him in his face. I'm like, and I know I don't make no movement, nigga. Just head down, look this nigga in his eyes. He just rapping, he trying. I was like, as soon as that first verse, I was like, it's game over for this nigga. I spit my bar, killed that nigga first round. Second round comes, because they do 3 rounds in the championship battle. Second round comes, body that nigga again. Like,
so like for the people that are out there right now, if you don't mind me asking a question, okay? Since we are on the intro, right?
Yeah.
So like
An intro.
would you
that's
would-
what's my bad.
yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
It's all good.
Good.
Would you assimilate battle rap into like boxing or like a martial art of some sort?
Yes, absolutely. It's verbal jiu-jitsu. It's literally who can mind fuck somebody out of not being able to be on their game to be able to make the move to finish you. That's literally what it is.
Without any physical contact.
And then see, that's the difference. Is back when we were growing up doing hip hop shit, battle rap shit, you didn't get in nobody's face and put hands and flip hats and shit like that. Like these cats now, like URL smack.
Yeah.
There was none. Like you do that. Like shout out to Triune. I'm gonna tell the quick story. He put his hand on one of the homie Contagious. His little brother 7 was battling. He put his hands on, and then like 30 PDL niggas, like Pasadena niggas rushed the stage.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
About to get on him. Like, cause he pushed the little brother in the chest, and then like, and luckily we have a bunch of homies there, and it kind of cooled off. But yeah, like it is verbal jiu-jitsu with nobody putting hands on each other, man. And that was the respect that hip hop had at the time. Is everybody, whether they gangbanged or not, they came to that area, and hip hop was like, it was like a mitigator for like, hey, we're just here to like build lyricism, b-boy shit, and there wasn't like none of that. So yeah, it just was a different time, man. The culture was like, it was the culture back then.
Yeah.
Code and ethics.
I'm glad that you jumped in and you mentioned those things, because that was a good comparison. And then you saying it was jujitsu, verbal jujitsu.
Yeah.
I mean, it's about breaking the mind,
Absolutely.
just like you would in any type of combat sport.
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
good stuff. Yeah, we are into our intro. Hey, so far so good, right, guys? So you're a family man.
Yeah, I am. I'm a family man.
Okay. How many kids you got?
I got 6 total, but blended family.
Okay.
So,
All right.
yeah,
I was
yeah,
about to
blended
say,
family.
man, you got us.
Yeah, he's close. He's close. Naturally, he's doing good.
So we also talked about some of the things that help make who you are today. You had mentioned that getting custody of your kids played a role in that, and also your hip hop battle rap legacy. You doing all that, and then becoming a Black executive and splitting the personalities to fit the narrative. So are we talking that gangster lean walk?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, yeah. So, like, pray for me, don't play with me. Like that type of vibe. The one thing about being in corporate America, being young and African American, is you have this narrative on you. You're not a good father. You're money hungry. You're flashy. You're confrontational. Like all the things that come with being a young Black man in general. Translate that into the business world, where you're meeting with $1 million customers, or you're working for a very conservative organization. Like at the time I was working for the newspaper group, which it doesn't get any more conservative than a bunch of, very tame, not African-American men controlling the content that basically is put out on the newspaper. Right. And then you have Here I Come, straight nigga from the hood, kind of, sort of battle rap, making lyrics. Then I get into a boardroom with these guys, and I gotta match wits with them. So like that shaped me being able to handle my lifestyle on the scale when I'm dealing with corporate executives, being able to blend and shift the narrative and, oh, he's going to be angry, but I just am more intelligent and sharper because I can kill you with the verbal jujitsu of not physically having to put hands on you, but I will. So there was that domineering factor, like, okay, I could talk shit to him in the boardroom. He's still going to beat me, but I don't want to press it past that label because he will fight me. And, you know, as I grew up in corporate America, also that allowed me to be a little bit more calm, more humble, and kind of, you know, shape my thought process in getting my thought together to be able to get custody of my kids. I can't do this because I need to be here for my kids as they start to grow. And I've got to set a certain example. So yeah, it's being a young Black executive in that industry and also coming from the streets blended together very well because you have a social intelligence, so to speak.
Right. I was about to say you got some mental wit over them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's hard to shake somebody who gets dissed like as hard as you get dissed. And if you grew up around the Black tables getting cooked during lunch.
Oh yeah.
You,
Brunch and lunch.
You already know.
You can't wait to get back out there. You're like, you know what?
Early morning, lunchtime,
You know what I'm
after
saying?
school.
When somebody get the last bag, when they get the last bag on you, you're like, oh man.
You already know.
Your friends like, oh, he got you. He got you.
Yep.
So having jokes and, you know, battle rapping and translating that into corporate America, man, you become like, you know, a good unshakable force.
Yeah, I would say so.
Right?
I would definitely think so. So yeah, I actually I like that you described all that and you explained it because it's kind of what I was thinking. I was thinking that you know most of the time when you have when you're a very good lyricist, you have good mental wit, and if you have good mental wit, you're very creative with your words. You also have you're strong mentally as well.
Yeah.
So like in a boardroom, when you said match wits, it's exactly what you did. Probably even outdid them.
I learned how to say fuck you in corporate real fast in a very nice way.
Yeah. I believe it. That's
as my last email per.
That's awesome. All right, man. So we're gonna go ahead and get started with the round robin and firing off these questions.
Yeah.
So remember, they're going to be a lot having to do with some of the information you shared with us. So hip hop, you know, the culture, the automotive industry. So we'll start it off with how has hip hop influenced your mindset on how you approach life?
Ooh, so man, I grew up listening to music. Like hip hop shaped everything. I mean, from, you know, my ability to be able to just communicate, right, effectively using big words, lots of intelligence. You know, I grew up in Long Beach for the most part, and so I was listening to a lot of East Coast rap. And so, you know, hanging around a lot of the, you know, areas I hung around that were, you know, naturally undesirable. You were a lot smarter than a lot of the street lyricism shit that was going on. But dude, it shaped me in every way, from being able to communicate properly to, you know, learning what not to do, you know, which made me a better father. You know what I'm saying? Looking at typically how the average hip hop artist is portrayed and what we come up against and how, you know, we are in the community. It allowed me to be the opposite and, you know, mold and shape and grow my son. Like, look, you see this narrative that's being pushed. We're not going to prison. You know what I'm saying? We're not glorifying certain things. Like we're on some Wu-Tang 5% Nation type shit. Like we're trying to build the community. We're not trying to tear it down. So, you know, that mentality kind of stuck with me super early when I was listening to hip hop. And that narrative has been what has shaped my entire life.
Wow. Good live it.
You know, what's a hip hop lyric that resonates with you deeply? You know, like through your life journey, what's one lyric that you would say that's been resonating with you?
One lyric that's resonated with. That's a fucking great question.
You know, like Wu-Tang, they always say cash rules everything around me. There's certain people got that, people got other.
Man, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I don't have one particular lyric because I feel like, or one particular artist, because I have listened to so many different types of hip hop that it's like I couldn't even put a thumb on it. Like people be like, give me your top 5. Like, I don't even have a top 5, bro. Like,
Or
it's just, you can't, because if you really love the culture and you really love hip hop, you really can't say there's a top 5. They're just, and now that I'm older, certain things resonate with me that didn't resonate with me back then, because now I have a full gambit of artists I've listened to. So like when I first played, when I was telling you about the Victory Lap album, remember when we was first
Yeah.
listening to that
Yeah.
shit?
in your truck, I was like, this shit is crazy.
Because wasn't nobody on that album. Like nobody really was even thinking about that album. And I had gotten like an early like listen of it, and I was playing it for. I'm like, this album is crazy.
Yeah, you spit knowledge, bro.
Way before anybody was on it. But I've always been like that. And a lot of my, my people would tell you that, that artist, that I was on him way before anybody else. Like he introduced me to him. And like, that's the one thing about me in hip hop in terms of being a leader, is it's not like I feel like I'm a leader in terms of being the best. I feel like I'm the best at recognizing talent and being able to understand where they're going to resonate with me through a particular time frame. So like, I'm super laid back and chill, like as I've gotten older. So like I'm listening to a lot of Larry June and shit.
Yeah, Larry June's fly, bro.
But people didn't know who Larry June was. And they're like, oh, why you listening to him? I'm like, man, it's just.
You need to listen to RBL Posse before you listen to Larry.
Hey.
You slow RBL Posse down, then you know Larry June.
Yeah, but see, I'm just saying, like in the newer sense of who people listen to is like Kool-Aid back vibes and shit. But I don't have a particular lyric that resonates with me, man, because when I was young, it was super hardcore battle rap shit. Like, I was a huge Cannabis fan, and everybody was like, oh man, Cannon. Like, so I grew up like with a real sharp blade, and then the Wu-Tangs and the Redmans of the world. And then I kind of shuffled back to the Dog Pounds. And
so it was ever evolving,
man. And it still is. Yeah, it still is. Hip hop is not a one trick pony, dude. It's constantly evolving. Yeah. Whether we like it or not, it's always evolving.
What hurts me the most is that I got some friends that say that Victory Lap, and they try to say Nipsey Hussle isn't a lyricist when he actually is. But let me hit you with this question, man.
Yeah.
How do you think hip hop has evolved over the years? Has it stayed true to its roots or lost its ways?
Fuck, another great question. So I was the epitome of ultimate underground hip hop backpacker, right? Like straight backpack. I don't want to hear no jiggy shit. I don't hear no Puffy. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
No Diddy.
No Diddy. Yeah, no Diddy. I don't want to hear none of that shit. I don't want to hear no Mace. I don't want to hear no Timberland and Missy. Yeah. I wanted some strictly raw underground, the most abstract shit you could think of. Yeah. But as I've gotten older, I realized, man, you got a family to support. You're trying to create music to support your family. So it becomes a revenue stream for people. And then as I got older, I realized that, oh, you know what? These dudes are just trying to make money to feed their family, whether it's true to the hip hop scene or not. Mm-hmm. I get it. He's trying to stay with the times to make his money. And the reality of it is old heads, young heads, hip hop needs to evolve. Yeah. It has to. The music has to evolve. Yeah. Because when I was listening to Wu-Tang, people were like, what the fuck is that? Oh, what's up, God? The Supreme Mathematics. Like, what's that? Yeah.
5%ers.
They're like, what is that? And then they're like, even my Dog Pound shit, they're like, yo, what the fuck is this? Like that street lingo. What is that? But the reality of it is like, the older heads didn't like that, the newer shit that's coming out, right? Like Curtis Blow probably didn't like the Dog Pound or Wu-Tang, you know what I'm saying? Bro. But as you start to get older, like, you understand that music. Curtis Blow didn't like. I'm sure Curtis Blow, he clapping his hands and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody. Then you got an Old Dirty Bastard, for example. Yeah. Where people don't understand like where he was coming from, but it's just, again, hip hop necessarily. There's no roots to it. It's the roots to hip hop is self-expression. That's where it all came from. So people are expressing themselves based off of the landscape they live in, of what affects them now.
Environment, yep.
Yeah, whatever community issues that are arising at that moment in time is what's gonna like shape the moment of hip hop. Like drill music in the Chicago scene, and wild. Right, like they live that. Right, so how can you say that's whack? To them, that's what they live off of, and that's what resonates with them at that time.
It's all perspective, bro.
So yeah, so you have to respect the perspective of the person that's creating that music because it's from their angle or their lens. Yeah. So I can't say it's,
and I totally respect that and what you're saying, because it's true. So what's your opinion about mumble rap?
Again, man, like a lot of people think it's cool to rap off beat and shit now. Right? And like that you rapped off beat, you got booed off the stage back when we were doing it. But again, it's the way that the music has shaped itself. That's what resonates with that crowd. There's certain mumble rap artists that, you know, I like. I like beats and I respect what they're trying to do. I get it. You know, because there were people that said, oh, your shit's too whack. Like you're from Long Beach, but you got an East Coast flow. No, I have a conscious flow. It's not East Coast. It's just you don't understand it. So you think it's whack, but that's cool.
Yeah.
So I don't really put a label on like, oh, you're a mumble rapper or you're a drill rapper. Like if you're dope, you're dope.
Yeah.
Right.
I thought Little B was weird, but his music slapped him from the Bay to everywhere.
Right.
Yeah. And that's an interesting perspective because, you know, we want to have opinions. We want to be able, especially when we come up listening to it when it was at its best in the 90s.
Yep.
And then when it doesn't match up, you start wanting to critique right away. You know what I'm saying? So I hear what you're saying.
we fell into the critiquing of a lot of things of I would never listen to that or I would never do that. Yeah, I mean there's some whack shit out there.
Yeah.
But there's also some stuff in that genre that is still respectable, if
Correct.
That makes sense.
And with that leads me into this question here. So what separates a good lyricist from a great one in today's hip hop?
The ability to be able to get your story across effectively.
And that's not there, or it's in very few.
It's so like people didn't like Chief Keef for a long time.
Yeah.
Right. But like, or you know, a lot of them, people can say what they want about Drake, but Drake was just spitting what he wanted to spit at the time. And it just came through and is the right message of what he felt he was expressing at that time. And he allowed people to pull him out of his lane.
Yeah.
Right. And see, the thing about you being an artist and you being respected in the longevity is how much you're willing to be true to that story and resonate with your core audience. And so when you're harmonizing and you're singing and you're rapping about, you know, fresh shit, and then you go in and start rapping about gangster shit and this, that, and the third, it's not authentic.
Yeah, it's out of bounds.
It's way out of bounds. So when you're not authentic, I think your audience, your core audience, when you lose that, you lose traction as an artist because people like whatever's hot now on a national scale. But a lot of guys I know guys with core audiences of like, they got like 40,000 followers on Instagram and they get more streams than people who are major label independent artists on national levels because they have a core audience that's tapped into them. And they'll buy merchandise and they'll go to their shows and they'll pay $300. Like La Russell is a fantastic example of that.
La Russell is hard.
He's dope.
Right?
Shout
out to La Russell.
Shout
out to my friend Ariel, who is his stylist.
Oh, that's perfect.
She came up.
And then I got a young homie, Curtis King, who is a producer who just did some stuff with him and interviewed him on his podcast. Yeah. But it's like, I watch and I'm like, that story resonates with me. And like, he may not be the best lyricist in the world and he may not be super complicated, but he's mastered his craft. He's mastered his art of what he is.
His flow.
His flow and what he does, and people show up. And the telltale sign that you're making an impact as an artist is people show up. Because I've rocked 2, 3, 4 people in the crowd. Like I've rocked with nobody in the crowd. And I've also rocked 15,000. Yeah. And I'm going to tell you the feel with 4 sometimes is better than 15,000.
Because they resonate with you, bro.
That's it.
So in terms of credibility, because we've been talking about credibility as MCs and artists and things of that nature, man. So what's your thoughts on ghostwriting in hip hop right now?
Again, everything has its place.
Is it a fraud?
I wouldn't say it's a fraud because it depends on what you're trying to portray it as, right? If you're trying to portray, like, okay, so Snoop wrote for Dre for a long time. Does that mean that Dre's albums weren't dope? Does that mean that the Chronic 2001 Chronic 2000, that wasn't a legendary album because maybe Snoop or Corrupt or people wrote verses for Dr. Dre?
Still timeless. Right?
But it's all in the context. And I think when people look at hip hop, they try to give it a broad scale, and you can't really categorize it. And you have to categorize. You can't have it as a broad scale. So like, if we're battle rapping and somebody's writing verses for you, that's fraud.
Yeah.
That's fraud as fuck.
So if it's on your phone and you battle rapping, that's not a real battle. If you over there off the dome and I got a phone in my hand That's not real battle rap.
I don't, but I mean, but it can be because,
Okay,
but then
yo,
you got a whole.
yo,
He's saying if
yo,
you got somebody
yo.
else,
But
right.
then you got a whole nother lane, like you have Smack URL. Shout out to the Smack URL movement, where you have these independent battle leagues where these dudes know who their opponents are going to be 2 months ahead of time, and they write whole entire verses for these guys.
Yeah.
And they know when it's a play and it's showmanship. In the context of that, it's not whack, because I got a lot of dope favorite artists like that I really like on the battle rap shit. But I mean, ghostwriting has been a part of the industry for as long as it's been around. I mean, most of your favorite R&B hits were written by somebody else.
Yep.
Milli Vanilli.
I mean,
Right? You know what I'm saying? These
Blame it on
niggas
the
is turning
rain.
in their grave right now, knowing that these people are now getting paid off of doing what they got, they got condemned for. But
Yeah.
it's just one of those things. Oh, sorry, man. It's just one of those things where it's all in the context of what you're trying to accomplish, right? If you're trying to write a dope song.
So let me jump in there. So should the artist be open about it, or would you feel a certain type of way if you've been a fan of a certain artist for a long time? Let's say you've been a fan for 2 years now. He's been killing it for 2 years, and then you find out that he's been using a ghostwriter.
I'd feel some type of way, but at the end of the day, good music, right?
Do you have an opinion about whether they should disclose that, or if they don't?
It's at the artist's discretion, right? I feel like if I want to tell you that there's ingredients in my cake that are making me millions of dollars and I want to do it, then I can disclose that. If I don't, I don't. If you look at it, depends on what lens you're looking at it. As a hip hop artist, right, I don't condone ghostwriting for the concept of you trying to be a real MC. I don't condone that. But in the terms of you're trying to make money, you're trying to create an image for yourself, you need, because
that's a strong distinction,
right?
I get
Because
that.
that's a
I
difference.
respect that.
If you're looking at it as a business or as a hobby, I love hip hop. I'm always going to be true to my core right of what I believe, but I understand the business side of things when you're trying to support and take care of something and a movement you're trying to create. I can't tell you that there's a lot of guys out there that I know ghostwrite. I still like their shit.
Yeah.
I'm not going to act like I'm not going to turn up at a spot or nod my head to a record that's on the radio that's not hard. It's dope.
Yeah.
I'll give respect where respect's due, but in context of what I'm trying to get.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Jay-Z wrote a big song for Dr. Dre.
There you go.
So, but like now the pinnacle of hip hop right now, right? You got Kendrick and then you had the Drake situation.
Okay.
How would you feel if either one of those guys was ghostwriting on this stage right now? When
I really feel like Drake is having somebody ghostwrite for him. I really feel that way.
I do.
Right. And I get it. He's trying to win a war, but like the problem you have is when you have like Kendrick really hangs out with niggas that can rap.
Yeah.
Black
Black hippies, Vice City.
Like on top of all that, like the homie Disaster, shout out to homie Disaster who battle raps. Like a lot of these niggas who really battle rap for real, like off the dome, he hangs around these niggas and he cipher with them.
Yeah.
So he's a real lyricist, right? Drake was a created personality with an end goal in mind and got dragged into something he wasn't ready for.
So let me ask you the question. So then, okay, this goes back to the beginning. So in terms of the verbal jujitsu,
okay.
So Kendrick Lamar has a natural ability to have that jujitsu in him.
And if Drake were to start behaving in that way, that would be offensive.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because right, like it's just one of those things where like
he said offensive.
You can make money.
And here's what's crazy is I even feel like Kendrick really didn't even go as hard as he possibly should have gone on those records. He kind of just fucking played around with them.
He did. Say Drake.
Right? Yeah. And like I feel like Drake's lyrical side of how he approached the battle was way better. Like I heard the first couple of the diss records and I'm like, somebody probably wrote those for him, but the nigga's actually spitting and it's pretty dope.
But then the ghostwriters in the background talking about, look, I wrote that shit for him.
You know,
he think he really spit the heat.
Well, and but it's just one of those things where
he started up in the jujitsu.
Yeah.
He started up and then he was like, wait, don't come on, you can't love it that much.
Traditionally in music in corporate America, he who has more resources wins.
Yeah.
That's facts.
Right? So the reason why this is even a bigger thing for hip hop in general is because Kendrick did have a lot of resources, but not as much resources as Drake had.
Nah. Yeah.
Right? Like I really feel like it's like David and Goliath kind of situation where like
Yeah.
I think Drake put Kendrick on the map too.
I mean, they've all shouted him out for it.
Yeah. He put
So like you can't like that's my thing too, is like I also look at how this is a business, right? And like Drake, this is where you got to be careful. You can't put everybody on.
Nah.
Right? And I think in his thought process is like, hey, if I put all these people on, they're gonna give me love. Which is true. You got a lot of play from a lot of people, but the problem you have is that not everybody's gonna play their position in a role. And you can't expect everybody to pay homage.
Yeah.
Because hip hop is, again, a naturally competitive sport.
That's right.
So to think that somebody is not going to try to compete against you when you're sitting at the top, heavy as the head that wears the crown.
Facts.
Right? So you have to be ready for anything. And the nigga had a team of ghostwriters.
Which leads to yeah.
He
That's
said,
real
when you,
talk, though.
when you're dropping the next one, give me the lyrics. Shoot me the lyrics.
Right? Plus on top of that, you got to think about when you're a major artist and you're putting out hit after hit after hit after hit.
Yeah.
Bro, there's only like, even if you're a basketball player, you can only play so many minutes
Yeah, that's real.
before you need a rest.
That's real.
Right? Or you need somebody to sub in.
Yeah.
Because you're a hooper.
Yeah.
Right? So they're mad at Drake because he used reference tracks. I've been in the studio with my homie and he's rapping his verse from me. He's like, yeah. And I'm like, yo, if you said that in that bar, that would be dope.
Yeah.
And he switched it up. Should I take credit for the whole record?
Nah.
Or for the verse? Nah, he just giving him inspiration.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
So I have a question for you. What are your thoughts about the risk of AI generating music? Do you think human lyricists are at risk of
1000%.
becoming obsolete?
I wouldn't say obsolete because there's always going to be a human feel for that. But I'm going to tell you the AI is so fucking tricky right now that you got to really watch yourself.
Man,
You got to really watch yourself because the end consumer doesn't care who it comes from
That's right.
Damn.
That's well said.
at the end of the day.
hope
Right.
y'all eavesdropping.
Computer
Think about
love.
this. I mean, I hate to say it.
That's
Like,
Looking for my computer
I'm
love.
a huge Jordan fan, right? I'm a sneaker fanatic.
Yeah.
Do you think I care? And I no disrespect to anybody, but like it never crossed my mind to think about the kid that's probably getting paid sweatshop wages putting together my $10 Jordans that I paid $200 for.
Yeah.
Right? It's all perspective. Like if I really got that
There's
deep,
a market for it.
but if I really got that deep about it, I'd never consume anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd feel bad.
See what I'm saying? I wouldn't eat the food that I eat. I
Yeah,
wouldn't
but
do a
he
lot
might,
of things.
He might be getting paid $10 an hour, which is wages is up here out there. You
He's
know?
probably getting paid 10 cents an hour,
Yeah. Depending on where you live at.
right?
Yeah.
And if there's a market for it, because like he said, that was great, is if the end consumer is not going to care if it's a banging, because they're not going to dive as deep to find
They're
out
not.
whether that was AI
You
or
don't
not.
care.
Even if they find out it was AI 3 weeks later, they're just going to turn it up. Fuck it.
Yeah.
You want what you
Reality of it is like, right. But what I'm saying is like the average person doesn't care.
Doesn't give a shit.
They
That's
don't care.
That's why the people are still gonna eat McDonald's even though there's no real food.
Yeah,
in
they're like,
McDonald's.
oh shit, that In-N-Out burger didn't rot for 6 months in the fucking in the refrigerator.
Yeah.
Fuck it, let me eat it.
Eat it.
The thing people have to realize about music, about anything you consume, the consumer doesn't care about the end product. They just care about the results and the satisfaction for
That's right.
themselves.
That's right.
That's it. That's why things are so fucked up in the world right now and so jaded because people only care about what they care about.
Product pushers.
That's it.
Right on. All right. Let's switch gears a little bit. We'll go into a topic of automotive.
Yeah.
What drew you to the automotive industry and what keeps you passionate about it?
Yeah, man. I mean, money drove me to the automotive industry. One of my best friends had got me into the industry, and I was like fresh out. I was 17 years old out of high school. My dad kicked me out on I won't say the streets, but pretty much. It's like, yo, you got to go figure it out. Cool. Let me figure out what I'm gonna do. So I started fucking selling ADT alarm systems, knocking on people's doors and shit with the ADT sign and shit. Like, yeah, we do want to buy an ADT alarm system for your house. And, back when that was tough sales and shit. And one of my boys was like, hey, I got another homie that got me into the car business. I'm making $6,000 a month, like in 1999, 2000, you're like $6,000 a month. Like, what? That's crazy. I was like, what you got to do? He was like, nigga, just go get a sales license. Sell some cars. I'm like, okay. Went and got a sales license, got a little shirt and tie, started selling cars, and fast money came quick. Quit my ADT spot and made a little bit of money, man. And shit, the rest is history. Once you get locked into that industry making money, dude, it's like, I hate to say it, it's like crack.
Damn.
It's fast, quick, easy money based on the effort you are willing to put in.
Yeah.
You working bell to bell?
Man, I've worked bell to bell my entire life, damn near, man.
You didn't hear his music when he pulled up, blow the whistle.
That's why y'all was calling me for the podcast. I'm like, I'm here on the bell to bell right now, nigga. I ain't gonna make it.
Blow the whistle.
It's like, nigga, we got the studio open. I'm like, I got to get the money. It's the money, the money, the money.
Blow the whistle. So, how do you see the future of the automotive industry, especially with dealing with the automation and also the electric vehicles?
So this goes back to, why I got into automotive was for the money. Why I'm in automotive now is I'm in it to help my peoples. And I don't mean people's, I just mean people in general. Like, I love what I do because I get to train a lot of youngsters to teach them how to treat people right and how to get the consumer to understand what it is they need. Right. And so, like, when you approach it from a very human standpoint, not a sales tactic where I'm just trying to sell you something, you turn it into a career. Right. And so automotive for a lot of guys is a quick dollar because they're just trying to figure out a way to make money. But the guys that move up, GMs, GSMs, the guys that run groups and buy stores, there's a passion to help people in there. And you make the money organically. Right. Like anything, like even with hip hop, when I got into doing hip hop, I didn't get in it to do it to make money. Right. That's why I said, again, it's about whatever the dynamic you're trying to approach it from. Originally was to make money. And then I got to loving the people, the coworkers, the camaraderie, the time you spend, you spend more time with those people when you start to create an extended family. And then you get customers that send you customers and you're helping those people. And maybe you got a single mother who needs a car. Maybe she's down on her luck. She can't really afford it. And you're trying to figure out how to help her out. And it's just, it's a very rewarding job being in it now as a career. Now you want to make it long term. It becomes way easier to sell somebody a car when you're not selling them anything, when you're just trying to fix a problem. Right. That's
so to you, it doesn't matter if it's a gas vehicle or electric. Sell.
People have to do what's best for them and buy what they feel is best for them. Me personally, I'm not an electric car fan. I don't like, I have a Hellcat rumbling V8, old school. Gas is $6 a gallon. You're going to hear every gallon coming down the street.
Every drop.
Like, my neighbors hate me because I'm that guy that opens up the garage at 6 a.m. and blast the shit out their front door. But electric cars aren't really my thing. It's just everybody. I want to decrease my carbon footprint.
Yeah, that downtime of an hour to 30 minutes is crazy, man.
Yeah, but it's people. People have they have the best intentions in mind, but they don't realize what you're getting into.
Yeah.
And the challenge you have with electric cars is the cost to make them is expensive.
Yes.
The carbon footprint is even worse than the gas
battery
vehicle. The batteries, people don't even know what they do with the batteries.
And that line is long as hell.
Crazy long and it doesn't, I'm a hip hop enthusiast.
Yeah.
I'm a car enthusiast.
I feel that.
I like driving cars that I have the ability to feel.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like the real car guy in me is like, I'll never buy an electric vehicle.
Yeah.
But
you can't hear that. You're like,
yeah. The first thing everybody says is, you can feel the G-force. It has more power than your Hellcat.
Nah, that's
I'm like,
Governor's lying, bro.
Yeah, but bitches saying like, look at that nigga in that Model 3. That nigga look good. You ain't never heard no girl say, I really love a man who's economical.
No.
Never heard nobody, oh my God,
He's
Tesla
geo-friendly.
Never have you ever heard that in your life.
Yo, I got a 2-part question for you, Sean. How do sales strategies differ in the automotive industry compared to other industries?
It's the same. The same process as selling cars is the same as selling in any industry, right? You got to meet and greet, you got to fact find to figure out what somebody needs. You got to be able to understand what it is they're looking for. You got to know your inventory. You got to make the right recommendation. You've got to make sure that what they need fits with that recommendation. And then you ultimately have to provide a value and get in the right numbers. And it all translates into the same: selling houses, selling cars, selling shoes, selling whatever. I mean, it all has to, there's a process to it all.
No different though?
It's no different, man. It's the same thing. That's why I feel like the strategies can really be, once I've trained somebody in automotive, they can go out and you can be the best at anything. I've literally watched guys, corporate America. I came out of the automotive industry right into corporate America. And like, I just realized like, damn, I'm like way better than everybody in here. The battle rap shit helped. Yeah. But like, I know how to like fact find and make the right recommendation and ask the right questions and solve problems. Like, the automotive industry really makes you probably the best well-rounded individual in terms of running a business, because you are an entrepreneur literally starting from zero on dollar, like day one.
Damn. Here's the second part. How's your sales approach in person, over the phone, or over digital messaging?
Nigga, I'm great at everything. I hate to say that.
He said flip a
Nah,
coin.
say it, bro.
I'm just one of those people. I told one of my young bulls this the other day. I said, do not dim your light for anybody. I said, there's going to be a lot of people around you that are going to feel some type of way. Oh, you're arrogant or you're cocky. Fuck that. If you got the ability to shine, don't dim your light for nobody. Don't make anybody else feel comfortable because you're good at what you do.
That's crazy. That's the same thing Sean Waller said. Sean Waller says, you wasn't helping me when I was putting the work in and the effort in daily, selling my cars, but now you think we're cool because I made it to this level in life and you think we have chemistry. It's funny that Sean said
I would be in a boardroom, man, where I noted people. I've had this thing in my life where I've had to just understand and accept this, and it was very difficult for me to understand and accept this. People don't like you because they feel you're a threat to them.
That's right. Yeah.
And I had to really look at that and go, why does all of this shit happen to me? Why am I bumping heads with this person in the corporate industry? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing that? Because you're good at what you are. You're fucking great at what you do. And you build, not only are you great at what you do, you build great leaders.
Yeah.
Like I tell people, when you work with me, I'm training you to be the future leader. You're not working with me to sell cars. You're not working with me to sell. You're working with me because at some point you're going to have your own team of people.
Yeah.
And they're going to need to be great just like you. And you need to train your replacement, because when you move up, you got to have somebody that's going to replace you that has the same core values, the same understanding, and the same mindset. And more importantly, somebody who has the same theology about how to get to the next level. And so you're creating a legacy. And I tell people the legacy for me, I'll tell you, I want people to stand up in front of everybody and goes, that motherfucker was the best at what he did. The best battle rapper, the best fucking car salesman, the best at every best dad. He is the best at everything. I strive to be the best at everything.
That's good.
That legacy is important to me.
That's awesome. I love that. Using the fact that you're a car enthusiast, if you could design your dream car with unlimited resources, what features would it have?
Ooh, that's a good question. First thing is horsepower. Horsepower is number one. Like, you see all these manufacturers going to war right now about how fast the car is. Horsepower is fucking king.
Horsepower.
Yeah. Horsepower is king. I drive a fucking very, very modified Hellcat, and it's horsepower. All right. All day long. You fuck about anything, but horsepower for me, definitely. Second thing is going to be comfortability. So sound system, room to spread out. I'm not a little dude. I think we all over 6 foot. Right, you over 6 foot, right, Ruben?
No, oh yeah. He got those new shoes.
Nigga said the camera angle makes us all look the same. Illusion. Nah, but comfortability that's a big thing. Horsepower, number one. Comfortability, music, being able to stretch out.
What type of engine is it?
It's a 6.2 liter supercharged Hemi.
Damn.
Factory is 807 horsepower.
Damn.
It's overkill. They only built 1,480 of the cars. I didn't order the car because I didn't know they were building them like that. I literally ordered the shit because I liked the car. And at the time I ordered the car, and this is how being an influencer is, it's supposed to be just naturally holistic. When I bought my car, nobody really cared about Hellcats. Like, they had $8,000 worth of rebates and they couldn't fucking get them off the lot.
So you were early on?
Early on. I ordered my car in like 2020, before the pandemic, before the car was #1 stolen vehicle in the country.
Damn.
I ordered it because I was in my midlife crisis stage and I wanted a motorcycle. And I'll never forget this shit. I rode to the dealership, drove up to the dealership with my daughter to look at a motorcycle. My daughter was like 8 at the time. And my daughter's not, you think your kids don't really have that much like understanding about what life is when they're that young because they're your kids.
Oh, they got the intuition.
Yeah. And the salesman starts the motorcycle up. I was looking at a Ducati 996.
Yeah, those are clean. What color?
Yeah. Red.
Oh, yeah.
He was looking at a red Ducati 996. And he start that bitch up and I was like, I'm going home with this motorcycle today. And my daughter looked me dead. My daughter looked me dead in the eye and goes, Dad, don't buy a motorcycle. I'm like, why, baby girl? You can get on the back. You'll die. You'll die on a motorcycle. And I looked at my daughter, man. I looked her fucking dead. And I had just gone through I was going through crazy custody battle at that time. I looked her in the face. I'm like, you are right. I am not getting a motorcycle. And I got a fucking Hellcat instead.
You can still keep up with a Ducati though.
I could beat a Ducati.
Yeah,
you left out there mad.
Automatic or still?
Walked out glad you had the keys.
Well, here's a funny thing is I ordered the car. It took like 9 months to get there because COVID was starting to come in and there was a shortage of inventory and parts. And once the car finally got to me, all the incentives were gone on them because Dodge was announcing that they were going to get rid of the Hellcats and the demand for them went through the roof.
Yeah.
And so I got a phenomenal deal on the car I really liked. And people were like, oh, that's my dream car. I just wanted it because it was a fast car.
That could have went up on that car then.
Oh, that car is crazy. That shit barely leaves the garage now because I'm afraid somebody gonna steal the shit.
It's automatic?
Yeah, and it was crazy is actually that you mentioned that I ordered a manual transmission and they did not build the car in a manual because of the limited resources.
Yeah.
So I almost backed out of buying the car because of that.
That would have been cool though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a true enthusiast, man.
That's cool.
We're about to shift some gears right now.
Let's shift some gears, dog.
To drop it into what? Second gear, third gear? So we're going to talk about work ethics, dreams, and faith. So we're going to switch it up a little bit. You know, can you recall a time when you felt like giving up, but what kept you going? Would it be faith? Would it be God? Would it be family? What keeps you going?
Shit, all of the above. All of the above. My son changed my life, right? My son was born. It kept me out of doing all the knucklehead shit that I was getting into, right? I was a straight knucklehead. My mom would tell you that boy fucking wild. My dad was like, he's wild. My dad's ex-military and was like, nigga, you gotta go.
Damn.
Right? So definitely having my son, my first son, changed my idea of what I thought was important to me. Right? And then God obviously comes into play because that's the basis of all things, right? That's the basis of what we are. Absolutely. We are a part of something. And that also introduces faith as well because fuck, man, I can't tell you how many times I thought about giving up. Right? Like, you wouldn't be human if you say you haven't had a time in your life where you wanted to just fucking give up. I tell you, my custody battle was I wanted to give up. There were times I wanted to give up.
I felt the same way.
Yeah, I wanted to give up, man. I'm like, I'm a black man coming in, dressed nice, but the system's there is fighting against me. It does not want you to beat it. And I beat it.
Yeah.
I fucking beat it.
I heard that San Bernardino County's for single dads and LA County's for single moms.
What's crazy is I'm in San Bernardino County.
Yeah.
Right. And, you know, no disrespect, you know, to their mother, because I don't really want to speak ill of anybody on a public platform, but I can tell you that there's nothing wrong with her. Like, in terms of like, she's not a drug addict or there's, you know, she's not, you know, like a desmoid human being where you would think that's what custody would really come from. But the system will get tired of you fucking with a good dad.
Yeah, I believe that. They see it.
They do. They'll get tired of you fucking with a good dad, man. And if you are, again, in all things, if you are genuinely doing what needs to happen, that faith will always come to the forefront. God will make sure you prevail.
That's huge.
You don't have to, you can't force something that's unnatural. right? And so it just came into alignment when it needed to come into alignment. And there were many times I thought about giving up.
Sheesh. What's a key lesson you've learned about trusting the process in both life and business?
Man, that's a great question, because that situation, as hopeless as it seemed when I was in the middle of it, you have to allow things to just play themselves out, because time is the teller of all things and everything bubbles to the top.
Yeah.
I was a believer of that, but when you're in the middle of being subjective to something rather than being objective, right? Objective, you're viewing what's happening to you. Subjective is happening to you real time. When you're being subjected to that type of abuse from a system, you don't see an end in sight. And so I let go of trying to control everything, right? Because what we do, we want to control. We're fixers. We naturally build and construct and control. And I've been so fucking good at everything else. I'm like, I got to master this. But the ultimate mastery was the self-mastery of observance and listening and allowing time to play itself out.
You kind of already answered it, but I'm gonna ask you the second question.
Yeah.
Second part question. Where did you learn the key lesson? Where did you learn the key lessons you rely on? Books, seminars, parents?
Man, life, brother. My mom was amazing. My dad came in later. He's an amazing dude. I have a lot of amazing friends and people around me in the support group. But ultimately, like, I had to learn those lessons through life.
Yeah.
Wisdom. Bumping your head, because I watched what everybody did and how they didn't work out for them, and I did the opposite. Like, I don't drink or smoke. People are like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, I seen how that ends up. I seen where that road gets you to. I'm not interested in that. So life has taught me a lot of hard lessons. I've learned a lot from the mistakes that I've made, but you have to fuck up for you to be great. It's the nature of the process, bro.
So rock bottom, then building to the top?
Brother, I done been at the rock bottom. I done been at fucking Mount Everest. I done hit below rock bottom to the bedrock and pulled myself up by the bootstraps.
That's cool.
You know, and it's that type of understanding in life, and being able to do those things will make you fearless. Like, I'm not afraid to be alone. I'm not afraid to lose. I'm not afraid of anything, because
bounce back.
I've done it.
Yeah.
I know the way shit plays out.
I would say that there's not a lot of people like you out there. I don't think a lot of people have emotional intelligence to actually research and reflect on themselves.
Yeah. And I tell you, when people start, this is the hardest lesson for most people to learn. And I've had to tell my son but he's not going to get it because he's young, man. He's like 22 years old. And I've told grown ass men, because like most men don't reach their adolescent maturity until they're in their 40s. Yeah. Right. But the reality of it is, everything that happens in your life is ultimately your responsibility. You're responsible for it. Your marriage is fucked up. You don't fail at marriage. It was your responsibility. You could have handled it a different way, right? You mess up on selling a car to somebody. At the end of the day, maybe your word track wasn't right. You weren't prepared enough for that moment in time. Own it. That's your responsibility. And a lot of people don't have the ability to get up and look themselves in the mirror and go, the reason why shit is like that in my life is because I created that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
If you could say that, it don't mean I'm not afraid of certain things. Don't mean that I'm not ashamed of things that I've done in my lifetime, but I own and I'm responsible for it. And that's the difference between maturity and these cats that are trying to get to that level, right? I understand more about mastering myself after failing and accepting responsibility for those failures.
And you know what? I think this question I'm going to ask, you probably already answered it, but I'll see if there's anything you want to add.
Yeah.
What role has faith played in your biggest achievement so far? And
dude, I have the serenity prayer tattooed on my arm, right? A lot of people, which I didn't know this, a lot of people who are drug addicts and, recovering alcoholics, that's the prayer. So people will come up to me and shit, and they be like, yo, man, how long you been sober and shit? It'd be people I'm like legitimately like in a corporate boardroom with. And I'm looking at this man like, fucking Todd? My man Todd. yeah, man, I was an alcoholic for fucking 15 years. Here's my challenge coin, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, that's deep, man. But like, I got that tattoo in the middle of wanting to give up on my custody battle. And I'm going through it and I'm like, man, I gotta, like, what is locking me into this shit? And I'm like, okay, God allow me to accept the things that I can change and wisdom to know the different. And I'm like, I can't change it all. I can't control it. I gotta let it play out.
Yeah.
I gotta have faith that if it was really meant to be that way, it's gonna turn out that way.
And the second part of that question is you just answered it as well. Do you pray?
Every day.
The answer is yes.
Any wise man prays.
That's right.
Any wise man prays daily and is thankful for the ability to fucking get up and breathe. The things that we are so entitled to as people and individuals, and like, you're not supposed to wake up every day. You're not supposed to be functional every day. That shit happens by divine intervention. Like, okay, you're on a wake up list today. You're on the wake up list today.
That's good. That's good.
You know, we're gonna switch gears again.
Okay.
Now, this is some shit I know you love right here. So sneakers, okay?
Yeah.
We're talking about culture, we're talking about streetwear, we're talking about it all. Of all the sneakers. Now, I've seen your collection of sneakers, my G.
Wow, it's crazy.
His shit will fill up this whole wall and that wall and probably this entire studio.
Yeah.
Vested.
Of all of the sneakers that you have, what's your favorite release? Yeah. And what makes it so special?
Oh, my favorite release. Man, I got two. The Jordan 1 band. The black and white OG band. Actually, I'm gonna do three. The band is always that. When I first seen that silhouette, I just locked in with that. You know, I'm an 80s baby, so I locked in with that silhouette, and they released it. Obviously, I was too young to buy it. Got a little older. It was something I sought after, couldn't get it because they wouldn't release in Jordans like that. The Jordan 6 Carmine. One of the first Jordans my mother was able to buy me, and I played NJB. Y'all know about NJB League. NJB, nigga. They put you up, nigga, with the basketball, nigga.
The green and white basketball.
You got the one hand on it, nigga.
Even if you didn't play. Even if you didn't play.
Even if you, I'm so proud of him. That's my baby right there.
That, though. You did have. I have that NJB picture.
I got it on my phone right now, nigga. Like this, bro. Nigga. The other Long Beach nigga got the little booty cutter shorts on. No Diddy.
No Diddy.
The Carmines, man. The Carmine 6s. Because that was the first real Jordan I was able to get, and I actually hooped in those Jordans when I was a kid.
That's crazy. You hooped.
Not a lot of people actually played in the Jordans. It was more of a fashionable thing, and I like.
It's a show shoe.
Yeah, I wanted to play in the shoe, so that one was a big one for me. And then my favorite release, man, believe it or not, is the 1995 Jason Kids with the big. They look like big ass eyes on them, big fish bubbles on the back of them. Mm-hmm. I'll never forget, I was watching Long Beach Poly's varsity basketball team play in a championship game at it was Long Beach City College. It was at Long Beach City College. And I seen them shoes and I'm like, man, what the fuck are those? Like those is crazy. But it was wild because like Long Beach Poly is just so far ahead of everybody because they have star athletes. And this is before you could transfer and shit. Like, just Long Beach has so many talented motherfuckers that just grew up in one area and you just played basketball or football with them. But nigga, when they wore that shoe, I specifically was asking my mom every fucking, I need those shoes. I need them. And she ended up buying them for me. Shout out to moms, man. She ended up buying me those shoes, man. You know, I know fucking $100 pair of fucking sneakers was crazy back in the 90s. But yeah, it was those are my three favorite releases, man. The band, the Carmines, and the Kids, dog.
That's dope.
All right, this question follows that.
Yeah.
What's the craziest thing you ever done or seen someone do to get a pair of exclusive kicks?
Oh, man. Fuck. I've seen people do some crazy shit. See, I used to own a retail consignment store. So I've seen some crazy shit, man.
Eat this.
Yeah, I ain't seen that. No Diddy, Ruben. No fucking Diddy.
I ain't comment on nothing about this.
We're not talking about that.
What have you seen? That's what I want to know.
Nothing like fucking perverted or anything like that. I'm sure that shit happens though. I'm sure it happens.
That's all you hear is
I've heard stories of it.
Okay, I hope those fit.
Yeah.
No rebates.
Size 8 takes 12, right, bitch? Size 8 takes 12. Man, brother, I've seen motherfuckers camp out for a whole week.
Yeah, I've seen that shit.
To get shoes, man, and like, yeah, like just fucking be sitting out, like get there, set up a chair, and be the first motherfucker in line a week sleeping outside in a fucking sleeping bag in a tent.
Yep.
To get a release.
Won't even use the restroom.
Yeah.
Just chilling.
Just chilling, dog.
Have they somebody come back. Have they shit folded.
Yeah, I've seen them. It's wild, but you know what came out of that? Is a dude was smart enough to start an agency that you fucking pay people to stand in line for you.
What?
Which is cold. Yeah, he fucking dude created. He was like, hey, I'll you pay me. I'll hire a motherfucker to go stand in line for you.
Wow.
Damn.
So you had people that were standing in line to get releases that were hired.
So if it was a 3 day, they could have 3 or 4 shifts. But okay, no, I'm here for the shift change.
Yeah, they'd stand in line for you. But I mean, growing up, man, I've also seen niggas get their head cracked over a pair of shoes. I've seen that. Like, talk about crazy. I've seen, nigga come to this, come to the school. Nah, I've seen a nigga come to the school like
get those
with a fresh pair on, and they like,
let me slide those.
They like, hey, my nigga, like, you need to come up off of those.
Check in.
Yeah.
What is that? Roller skate time.
Yeah. Hey, let me see. At a football game, rival schools playing against each other.
Turkey tussles.
Man, everybody comes in looking fresh to death, and these niggas, they got the Goonies outside waiting for you to come out there, out the visitor spot.
So Sean, how has the sneaker culture changed over the years, and can you call it that? Can you call it a culture?
Burnt. That shit burnt as fuck.
Damn. Is it?
That shit crazy burnt. They always tell you don't get involved and do business with anything you love. I agree with that. That's probably one of the main reasons I never actually wanted to like get fully immersed in the music industry, because I love music so much. I feel like creating a business out of it would fuck you up.
Yeah.
Right? Like even the car business sometimes fucks me up because I see the politics that are involved in the car business and I just want to help people. But the sneaker culture, man, I buy shoes and I'd sit on them for a long time, and then I'd come break them out just to wear them because it was nostalgic. Like everybody beat they shit up and I wear it. Now that nobody's wearing it, right? Like I think these ugly sweater I've had for probably 9 years, I und'd them for you guys. Like I brought them out because I'm like, I want to wear something cool for the show. Right? But nobody wears 7s right now. Like everybody's on 1s. And so I try to do the opposite of what everybody else is doing in terms of sneaker culture. But it's burned, man. Like when I had opened up the resale spot in 2017, I think I went in it like bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Like, fuck, man, my passion, get to put sneakers out and help people get releases. And I just watched it get ugly. People like fighting in line over shit, and, people, reselling, and like not even about the culture part of it, just like straight raping, people in the game. And like, there's real true sneaker collectors out there that really love, like, I go after it to have the shoe, not to wear for nobody else. I'll go in there and open up a box and I'll look like, man, I was going through some shit today when I was picking out what I wanted. And I'm like, man, I have these motherfuckers still in the box, never worn. I was like, this is crazy. I'm like, close it up, put it back away. And it's my mental thing, man. It's like knowing you have a Lamborghini in the garage and you're not driving it for anybody. Yeah. The sneaker culture used to be like that. And it's not like that anymore. It's about who has the most bots to buy the most shit. It's gotten to a point where motherfuckers have gotten connects to the motherfuckers building or creating the sneakers in a factory, and they're paying people before the shit even gets over here, like to get it and resell it. So the game for me is burnt as fuck. Like it's not what it used to be. It's never gonna go back to what it used to be. And I'm actually happy Nike's putting out so many fucking releases that it's burning. Like you can go in and get a pair of retros off the shelf right now. You couldn't do that 5 years ago, 6 years ago. You had to wait, stand in line. Now it's like you can go in and fucking get a pair of J's off the counter. And then motherfuckers are making it to the outlet stores too.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
So would you say, because this next question I have for you, 2-part question, but it seems like you've been answering a lot of it.
Yeah.
Because it seems like your take is it's been hurting the resellers for sneakers, right? You can't sell sneakers as a. I mean, what's your take on reselling right now?
I mean, look, again, from a perspective, it's a business. I get it, right? Like, I'm not mad at them. They're trying to make a living off of supply and demand, right? That's what you do. It's business. Everybody has to have their source of income, but the problem is everybody thinks they can resell sneakers. And that's where you get into like the game just gets burnt. Now you got so many people competing over a shoe that it's like it's not even worth trying to go after getting a pair of sneakers anymore online, because like they got bots that'll get to 100 million times faster than you could press a button. So I feel like, it's kind of watered down the game a lot because there's people that are just wearing shoes for hype, not because they actually like the shoe.
In your prime, what's the most you've ever paid for a pair of shoes?
I've never paid over retail for a pair of shoes.
Shit.
I refuse to. Yeah.
So you be hunting.
I don't even hunt. I'll wait.
Okay.
I'm patient. Like, I'll buy a pair of shoes that here's a perfect example. I have a pair of, I'm not really a big Travis Scott fan, but I like the sneaker because I know that it's something that's going to be not released again. And so like when I know Nike doesn't release shit, I try to get it. I try to get exclusivity for myself.
Yeah.
But I had a pair of Storm Blue Jordan 1s that are just like a basic release everybody slept on. They dropped them shits, and I bought them for like, I think it was like $150 or something like that. I paid retail.
Damn.
And I just sat on them, and I posted them on OfferUp. And the dude's like, hey, I know you don't take any trades, but I got these Travis Scott Velvets that I know hit way harder than those, but that's one of my Grail sneakers. And I was more like, this dude's, I'll pay for them. I'm like, yeah, let me talk to him a little bit more.
Yeah.
He started talking about, hey, I have every pair of Jordan 1. This is my ones that I'm missing. You're local to me. And so it was a culture thing for me. I'm like, fuck it. Where you at? I'm going to meet you. I'm going to throw these to you. I know for a fact the dude is going to resonate and he's going to wear those sneakers because he loves the sneaker.
Yeah.
And I came up on a pair of Travis Scotts, which is not a bad thing to come up on, right? Yeah. If I ever want to get into like offloading my collection at some point.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
dope.
I like helping the communities, man.
Yeah. So we switching up the gears.
Yeah.
Sales and hustle mentality.
Okay.
And here's my question. What's the biggest mistake people make in sales and how can they fix it? That's the first part.
The biggest mistake people make in sales is trying to sell.
Really?
Trying to sell somebody.
Okay.
Right? Like, if you have a product and somebody wants it, you don't got to sell it. They already know they want the product. You just have to make sure you're solving a problem.
Man, I hope they're eavesdropping out there. They need to be listening to the game.
Yeah.
Solutions.
Solve a problem, right? Like, customer comes to you. Like, Todd is one of the best salespeople I've ever met in my life.
Really?
I bought product from, I met him buying product from him.
Was it the machine?
No, I met Todd a long time ago when Todd was selling phones, bro.
Oh, shit.
And phone accessories. That's how I met him.
He got you on the flip phone?
Nah, he did. He was like, yo, man, you need to send nudes and shit,
You need
dog.
a case, you need a charger, you need you need that bundle.
He just, bro, he was like, yo, what are you doing? Like, why? He solved the problem. And I was like, fuck, I'm like, a real good salesperson recognizes another real good salesperson. We just lay the fuck down for him.
Game recognized.
1000%. I lay right the fuck down for him. I'm like, give me it all, dog.
So you answered the second part, but I'm asking, does lying or exaggerating fit into the question?
I mean, so here's where I'm at with lying. Okay. People say, oh, you lied to me. Not necessarily. I didn't disclose everything to you. Doesn't mean I lied to you. Right. And I think people feel like somebody owes it to them to tell them everything. And the reality of it is in a world of information, shame on you for feeling like you're getting beat, because like at any given time, if I really wanted to know the answer to a question, I could just do this.
Facts.
So if you hustled me,
I don't know,
or lied to me, I should be able to figure that out in like fucking 2.2 seconds. But the reality of it is like, I don't feel like you should have to exaggerate anything. Like if you're selling value to somebody, you already know what problem you're solving. Right?
Yeah.
Like Todd doesn't tell me, hey, this water right here, nigga, your dick's gonna be hard for 6 months.
That won't be edited.
It's gonna reverse your aging, nigga. Your hairline is gonna come back. Sip this shit. Look, let me rub a little bit on your head. Right? The best salespeople in the world are very good at fixing problems and building value in something and finding a hole where there's a need.
Yeah,
That's right.
Right.
So staying on this sales and hustle mentality is great salesmanship a skill that can be taught, or it's something you're just born with?
Yeah, absolutely. You could teach somebody how to sell anything, right? What I can't teach somebody is mental fortitude, heart, humility. Like, I can't teach characteristics. I could teach somebody how to sell.
Yeah, or grit for that matter.
Yeah, I can't. Like, yeah, you can't teach that.
What book or training upped your game?
Fuck, man. A gentleman by the name of Jerome Washington. Shout out to JW Jr. He was one of the first guys that hired me in the car business. And the line that he gave me, see, I can't name no hip hop lines and shit, right? That shaped my life. But Jerome Washington told me, one motherfucker say, hey dog, be serious about your money. And as simple as that is, that shit molded who I am as a person. Like, cause every time I look at me doing something, like, are you really being serious about your money coming in late? Are you being serious about your money when you're lying? Are you being serious about your money when you're skipping the process? And so he taught me a way of selling cars, a way of selling that it's worked in every industry. That's why I said that one thing you learn from the car business, that shit translates to everything in life.
Yeah, agreed.
Rest in peace. That motherfucker, he was amazing.
Yeah. Right on.
So I got a 2-part question for you.
Yeah.
So is high pressure sales unethical, or is it just a part of the game? That's the first part.
It's a part of the game, right? Like, sometimes people don't know what they want and they don't know what's best for them.
So that high pressure
Right?
comes in.
But here's the reality. Like, but here's the thing is like, sometimes you can't explain how to fix stupid.
That's
You
true.
can't explain stupid to stupid.
And that's where they're at.
Right? So I'm like, hey,
right.
like,
Yeah.
dummy,
Yeah.
I'm trying to
You
help
gotta get
you
this out.
here.
You got to get it now.
Yeah, like I'll tell somebody like, hey, like, what's the risk versus the reward? Like, a perfect example, right? A guy will come in and be like, hey, I got a car that's got 167,000 miles on it. And I don't really know what I want to do. But I need to have reliable transportation to get to and from work and to take my kids to school. But, my car is about to fucking break down, and it's been in the service drive 15 times in the last 2 months. And, but I don't know if I really want to do this right now because the payment is too high. And I'm like,
You want to do this now.
yeah, I'm like, do you not just hear what the fuck you just said?
You
Like,
have no other option.
right. But, and it's like, you're not trying to poach on somebody, but you're like, you can't be that stupid. Right. But like, again, what I've learned over the years in selling is you can't expect you out of everybody.
Yeah.
Right. And the hardest people to close for me was really old people, because they want to take their time about everything. And like,
Hey, sleep on this.
yeah, they want to come and talk to you every week and shit. Hey, good to see you, Sean.
You still thinking about it?
Yeah, we're back. Me and my wife, Dolores, we're multimillionaires. We don't really need the car. We're just fucking, we just think that it's nice. And, we're just retiring and we're on the last time buyer program. And you're just such an amazing young man. And in my head, I'm like, man, hurry up and buy this motherfucker. It's like, move on life. Like,
Oh, let me look at the Kelly
looking
Blue
over
Book.
yeah.
You looking over his shoulder for your food. You like,
Yeah. They'll be like, hey, is that Lincoln Town car still here? I'll never forget, I worked at a Lincoln dealership, and this one motherfucker would come back. This motherfucker came back 15 times. I counted it before he bought a car. And that motherfucker went through every inch angle of the car, drove it, showed it to his wife, came back, fucking, yeah, drove me fucking crazy,
You worked
man.
at Lincoln. You was fucking with the baby boomers for sure.
Man, these old motherfuckers ain't got no,
soft seats. You know
Bro,
what I'm saying?
there is no sense of urgency in an 85-year-old man that has all his money.
Yeah. None.
He has zero. So
None.
the trick is How do you feel a need?
You said no urgency.
No, the dude, he'll tell you, hey, we're about 6 to 8 months out from buying something. I flat out told the motherfucker this. I said, let me ask you something, sir. You might not even make it 6 months. You were on the last time buyer program. Just fucking go ahead and do it now.
Last time.
I said, because you're going to fuck around and die and somebody going to figure out how to spend your money for you. Right?
Do these seats have lazy boy seats?
Yeah, man. He was asking me all types of crazy shit he didn't care about. But see, here's the thing, though. Making you an amazing salesperson in a situation where you have somebody who there is no need for anything. Creating a sense of urgency for something they don't necessarily have to have. Like, that takes a certain level of mental fortitude and skill to be able to, like, finally he was just like, I'm going to buy the car because I just fucking love you. You put up with, the wife comes in, you put up with my husband's shit for 6 weeks?
So really, you got the sale because of the relationship.
I got I relationshiped my way all the way to that fucking voucher, 1,000%.
6 months, bro.
He bless car. He was almost crying. He was like,
man, when he bought, bro, you know, they told me,
he was like,
I took it as a challenge. They was like, you ain't never gonna sell that motherfucking car. I say, one bet. They're like, bro, they said that dude has been coming here for 3 years before you got here.
Them. But then again, you know when you're hooking the relationship. Motherfucker, when he came in to buy a car, that shit surprised me. He was like, all right, I think, my wife's brought the checkbook today. We're going to do it.
That's cool.
I looked at him. I was like, what?
I was like, Jim, are you serious?
I said, let me put your hearing aid in. Did I just hear what the fuck you said? He was like, we're going to buy it today. Done an amazing job. You have earned our business. I was like, well, fucking let's get to it.
Yeah. All right. What's the real difference between a master closer and a manipulator? Ooh. Is there a fine line? Is it fair to say manipulator?
Ooh, any good closer is going to manipulate the facts to his best interest.
Damn.
Right? I feel like you have a great power. You need to have great responsibility and constraint with that. I am the best closer that I know. Period. In this story, ain't nobody going to tell me different. I know it because I've lived it. But I also have a great responsibility to never blur the lines.
Mm-hmm. So don't lie.
Never blur the lines. No. Because for what? Like I tell my guys all the time, I go, sell less cars, make less money, keep all your integrity. Mm-hmm. Is your life worth one car deal?
No.
Right? Like, do we push the envelope? Yeah, we do. Like every industry does.
Right.
Right? You try to move the needle, but ethically.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. Yeah. Great
question. That's a great question.
I think integrity is key.
In everything you do. When motherfuckers trust you, they love you.
Yeah.
And you cut that trust at any given time, you'll never earn it back.
Yeah, that's
it takes one opportunity. Like you can write 1 million hits and that one that flops, you're dead. It's over, game over.
Yeah.
And that's how it is with closing somebody, man. If you start lying, and you're setting an example for people around you. They're watching you.
That's exactly right. All right, man. Well, that reaches halftime. We're at halftime, man. Thank you for all those answers, my brother.
Halftime, nigga. I done Martin Luther King this motherfucker. Goddamn, y'all got snacks coming and shit.
Yeah, man. So this is gonna go into the part of the show.
I have a dream.
It goes a lot quicker.
Have a dream.
Controversies of humor.
Nah, you good.
So, elaborate on the idea that people in the automotive industry are not shady.
Repeat that question one more time.
So there's a common misconception or myth about work where probably they think the automotive industry is shady, but you want to elaborate on the idea that it's not.
Yeah. So, I mean, dude, there's good cops, there's bad cops. There's good judges, there's bad judges. There's good car salespeople, there's bad car salespeople. You just got to find who fits your style the best, right? If you feel like you're being lied to, like, pull your phone out and find out the answer. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not hard to go, Chat GPT, hey, Google, boom, 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 and get the answer to it. Like, I mean, I feel like that.
Well, out of 100 people that walk up, is it 100 people that
100 people out of 100 people believe you're a liar? It's just let's just get it out the way. They walk onto a dealership. They've already done all the research. They know the answers. They're asking you questions to make sure you're not lying to them. And it's almost like dating, right? Like everybody knows you're not putting your ugliest dating picture online.
Yeah.
Right. So when you put a price online, everybody knows that price it's really not a negotiable. It's the best price. But we've been conditioned as Americans to negotiate everything in automotive industry, but you don't negotiate your grocery bill, your electricity bill. You'll pay full pop for that.
It's true. And more.
Right. And more. But when you come to an industry that has less than a 4 to 3 to 2% margin, and you're grinding these guys and they're not really making a lot of money because the misinterpretation is that you're selling a $100,000 car and you got $4,000 or $5,000. It's not the case. Like a lot of times these manufacturers, they suck all the wind out of everything, right? Along with the state, you pay more money in sales tax than you do in profitability in the vehicle. So who's the real crook?
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
All right.
Gavin Newsom scratched that one from the record.
So you'd also like to clear up the misconception that not all rap artists are negative.
No, man, dude, there's a lot of dope Christian rappers out there too, right? Like, not everybody. Again, negativity is if you're talking about what's coming out of what you're experienced, it's not necessarily negativity. You know, it's what you see, and I may not understand it. Doesn't mean that it's negative, but there's plenty of positive, rap stars out there.
Right on that comment you made. So what's your definition of negative rap artists?
Man, I can't even say I have a visual of what a negative rap artist is. He's just talking about what's relevant to him in that time frame.
Okay.
If somebody's talking about gang banging and them doing time and them hustling and selling drugs, who am I to tell that man that was wrong?
So people who have a perspective about the industry, what would you say that ratio is between what you would say, all right, these are legitimate positive rappers and these are legitimate what people call negative? What do you think that ratio is?
I mean, it as an artist, I feel like, you probably have, 10% to 15% of those artists are actually bad artists. But the consumer, the overall world, 90% of the people, 90% of rap music is negative to them. Like if you ask the average person who listens to hip hop that has never really listened to hip hop, like, what do you think about this rap artist? Oh, that shit's negative. Again, it's all perspective, man. Like, the perspective on getting a good deal is, do you feel you got treated fairly, right? Same thing with music. If it serves its purpose, it's just this perspective. I can't say it's negative or positive. It's that man's message. It may not resonate with me at that time, but you may trip out later on in 15 years from now. Like if I rapped about custody battles, that wouldn't be relevant to a lot of people right now.
Yeah.
Right. But like the dude who has the baby mama now in 5 years is going through that shit's going to play my record on repeat because it's not negativity. Like you never realize how bad your dad had it until you got married.
Yeah.
It's all perspective.
Yeah. What are your thoughts about when people say that low frequency music or high vibration music or low vibration music? How do you think that hip hop artists should be held accountable for their lyrics?
No, because America is founded on free speech. Right? So how could you condemn somebody for speaking what's their God-given right and natural ability as a citizen of the United States?
Right. And I agree with that. But let me frame it in this way.
Okay.
Is it just entertainment with no real world responsibility?
Be a parent. Right? Like I tell my kids all the time, that's cool you listen to that rap music. But you and I both know that shit's not for real. Now, as a parent, I have enough influence over my kids and enough ground structure, they understand that. I can't speak to everybody else. If you're allowing television and rap artists and music to shape your child's life, I mean, how can I hold somebody responsible who's not in my household?
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? Like you directly have an influence on what you put your hand on. If you don't have your hands on your kids, somebody else will figure out how to get their hands on them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Right on. I know you said this earlier, but maybe you can name off 5 hip hop artists of all time.
Dude, I mean, I like a lot of different people. What I listen to at the time depends on where I'm at in my frame of life. At one point in time, it was all about Wu-Tang and Nas and you know, the Dog Pound and like a lot of these, you know, artists of the 90s that I just really loved. And then I switched gears and, you know, I started listening to a little, you know, as I started making money and enjoying my life, I listened to, you know, Jay-Z and some of the shit he was talking about and Range Rovers and the cars that I admired that I could drive now. Now my, you know, my thought process is different because I'm in a different mind frame in a different space in my life. But I think, you know, I don't have a top 5, man. I feel like there's a lot of great artists in all retrospects to life of music.
Let me hit it a different way.
Yeah, sure.
So if you could collaborate with any of these hip hop artists, past or present, who would it be?
If I could collaborate with any artist past or present right now, I know this shit sounds crazy, man, but I've shared the stage with a lot of the guys that I like respecting in hip hop. You know, I've shared the stage with Wu-Tang and a lot of those guys, with Mos Def and Talib Kweli and a lot of these guys that I really looked up to in the 90s. It sounds crazy, man. I don't really have a wish list of who I wish I could collaborate with.
You got a kill list on who you want to take out? Is anybody you want to name drop and say, man?
With those bars?
With those bars. Who got the
Todd Wright?
Who want that smoke?
Nah, man, I don't, bro. I'm at an age, man. I'm in my peaceful phase right now, man. You know, I done Bushido bladed every nigga that I needed to. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody knows, bro. Like, if you one thing you know about me, I call it the way it is, and like you can go on my page. I've made diss records about niggas and said their names. And was like, if you want it, you know where I'm at. I don't hide from nobody. Like, not even on no arrogant shit. I just feel like I'm just better than that. And if you want to fight, we can line it up too. But I'm in my peaceful phase, in my peaceful era, man. I'm my golden guy era, where, you know, I got a little bit of gray in my beard and the wisdom is starting to kick in. And I'm more like, hey kid, you can go ahead and drive fast, and I'm gonna cruise, even though I got a lot of horsepower. I know what type of horsepower I got in this tank. Like, don't get it fucked up. Like, any nigga who want to like get with the smoke, we can get with it. I still have the horsepower at my beckoning call, but I don't have anybody I got the Bushido blade for right now.
Right on. Piece of wisdom, advice, or life perspective. I'll ask it to you in this way. How about a favorite bar or advice or wisdom that comes out in one of your freestyles or in frequent freestyles that you do? Everybody has like a go-to lyric it always goes with something. It goes with maybe like 8 different things.
Yeah, like, I'm a veteran. I'll be better than anybody with the medicine. Like, yeah, like those types of bars. Like, we call them fall off bars. Okay. Where a nigga always goes back to a certain bar. There you go. As he's falling off in the freestyle, he'll go back to this one bar. Like, you know, and like I said, niggas know. And niggas know. Like, yo, you gonna say niggas know one more time in this freestyle, I'm cutting your mic off.
He's trying to think of something else. Like saying
hey, half the song done went out. You like, yo,
and niggas know. Yeah. You know, I don't have anything that like literally that like frequents my wisdom, like, you know, that I speak out on my lyric side of things. I don't have like a particular like bar that I go to per se. That's a good question, man. I don't.
You just a samurai on the mic.
I am, dude. Like, niggas be tripping out because like if you talk to people that know me, like, they'll tell you, like, I've seen this nigga freestyle for 3 hours straight.
Shit.
No breaks. You know, people, he holds a freestyle world record or whatever. No, nigga, that's before there were like, if there was cell phone cameras around when we were growing up in the 90s, there's a lot of people, not just me, there's a lot of guys in this era of music that we did in the spots that we went to: Foundation, Project Blowed, Elements, Unseen Underworld. There's a lot of people
with Fat Jacks.
All the Project Blowed, Reducer, everybody from Project Blowed down. Yeah, Lamert Park. Yeah, legendary, bro. Like, you know,
we went to a couple concerts out there before.
Yeah, Lamert Park with you know, with the niggas out there. They was Bushido blade niggas before my time. But yeah, you know, like, it's you know, there's a lot of there's a lot of legends. It's like everybody who's in the NBA, there's 2-to-1 people who are way better than the people that are in the NBA that you're never going to see because maybe they didn't have the discipline or the same opportunity or the same shine or the same politics lineup as somebody else. But
They didn't have the camera time.
absolutely. Absolutely.
So Oscar, even a different way. What's the most personal or meaningful verse you've ever written?
The most personal or meaningful verse I've ever written. Oof. Man, I don't have one, dude. I know it's crazy. I don't have one, man. I've written a lot of music that has never actually made it on wax.
Got you.
Right? Because
is that something that follows people who are very good at freestyling?
yes, you'll find a lot of guys who are really good at freestyling. They don't tend to write well because our brain exceeds the pen on the paper.
You guys are ready for action.
It is like my pen, like I cannot capture, like the way I describe freestyling for me is like watching the hummingbird's wings. Like you have to slow that shit down to really like understand how the mind works.
Yeah.
Like it's so lightning. Like you find a lot of guys that have that are really good at freestyling and have anxiety issues because your mind is so fast and you're always
on top of the next
on
thing.
top of it, man, and like you're always on edge. So it's but no one bar. I'm like I feel like everything I rap about is meaningful.
Man, we've been trying to pin you down for
know, man.
One thing.
Sound like a fucking car salesman, huh?
He said-
So what's my interest rate? Well, that's a great question.
Oh man.
I'm glad you asked. But what payment are you trying to get to?
All right, fourth quarter here. So we usually when we ask you to describe yourself in 3 words, we'll see if you guys. We usually the guests they just nail it. We feel we also believe like they nail it too. You said compassionate, intelligent, and intense. I think we get to see the intense when you're in freestyle mode or in sales mode.
Yeah, absolutely.
You've been pretty mellow.
Yeah. I'm in my golden guy era, man.
All right. Yeah,
You
intelligent.
gotta be careful what you say on podcasts now and shit. People watching. This shit follow you forever.
They always watching you.
They be like, "What? That nigga said what?"
Blockchain.
Yeah. My bank accounts will be all froze up tomorrow by the time I get home and shit. That nigga was on the podcast, wasn't he?
That one.
Yeah, that was him. Talking that
He
shit.
got a Bitcoin in the back, look like, isn't he? Freeze that nigga shit.
Call up the
All
people
right.
from Doge.
So you love to eat, you love to cook. What are your 3 top food cuisines?
Man, seafood number 1 for sure.
Oh,
Yeah,
for real?
seafood, bro. Like, I tried being a vegetarian for like 3 years after I almost died from COVID, and that shit didn't work for me. Yeah, I tried it, bro. I was looking at that fucking. I was watching people eat crab legs and shrimp. I'm like, man,
Cracking
fuck
into it.
this shit. Yeah, mad as fuck. Yeah, dude, seafood is definitely number 1 for me. Number 2, Mexican food.
Yes.
Nothing better than a good ass carnitas burrito and
Texas Mexican food? Or
nah. Like
Mexican
my kids' mothers and they Hispanic, bro. Like I'm fucking probably more Mexican than they are. You know what I'm saying? I be eating shit they don't even want to eat. I'm like, what is that? That's a very obscure Mexican dish. Can I try it?
hot sauce.
And then probably pizza, man. I know it sounds crazy. I love pizza, man. I got stabbed, man, one time and fucking I had surgery and the first thing I could eat was fucking pizza, bro. And ever since then I've been locked into that shit.
Okay.
You like Indian?
Indian food is amazing
Wow.
too, bro. Yeah, dude. There's this one spot by my house, man. That's crazy.
Mediterranean?
Mediterranean's good too. I love Mediterranean. I just love food, man. I'm a fat nigga, bro.
Yeah.
My heart is fine. I don't drink, I don't smoke. I'll fuck some food up, dog. I'll fuck a food up.
Yeah, when we met, you was about 160 pounds, 170 pounds.
I always did.
But you had you
I
used
could
to
be
wear,
deceiving,
You used to
niggas.
have a vest. This nigga used to always wear a vest.
Hey, nigga, I was very invested in my style, nigga. Don't you hate?
Yeah, a little suit vest and shit.
Nigga got jokes. That's how we do shots fired at the podcast, nigga.
Why
Bang.
not?
Bang.
He said,
I was about. I've never been under the crazy. I've never been under 200 pounds in my adult life, bro. Never. I've never been under 200 pounds, man. I tried to get there. I got to like 198. I looked like a fucking crackhead. Big ass head and a little body, like no disrespect to Big Boy, but when he lost all the weight, this nigga big ass head and his little body. Yeah, you like astronomical. I was going through a picture. I was like, damn, nigga, my head was swollen as fuck, nigga. Little ass body, nigga. Look like a bobblehead doll with a suit on, nigga.
So what'd you like about Hustle Harder and Hustle Smarter by 50?
Ooh, man, bro, that book, I'm gonna tell you. That book, you have to listen to that book in audio format because 50's voice is not like super powerful, but he's telling the story the way that he tells the story and how he's putting emphasis on certain things. And it seems like it's kind of mundane. And fuck, it might even been AI. I don't care if the end consumer likes it, right? But that book, man, just the way he runs it down is synonymous with how I go through life. A lot of the lessons I've learned, he put it in that book. So I always tell a lot of the youngsters in sales, listen to that book. That book is a very good blueprint for you learning the wisdom to the things and the knowledge that you need later on, especially in selling and in life, like entitlement and things that you don't tend to come across when you don't have kids. Because if you have kids, you all have fucking entitled kids. Yeah. You don't know what that's like until you've had entitlement run through your life, whether it be a relationship with your children, your parents, or somebody else, or you've made money. Like if you've never made real money and had somebody felt like they were entitled to the money that you made, you haven't really lived life, bro.
I'm going to go ahead and check that out.
Great book.
All right. 2-minute warning. We've saved the controversy for last.
Oh shit. Here we go.
So
I need to sit up for this one.
Sit up for this one.
Get to the left.
Sit to the.
So we asked about if there was a historical conversation that you could eavesdrop in, which one would it be? And I'll remind you.
Yeah,
it's the conversation about vilifying hip hop to destroy the Black community.
Oh yeah. So
it's about that.
Yeah, man. So there's a legendary story that everybody knows about that. There was a conversation with a bunch of record executives that were talking about specifically how to position rap music to destroy the Black community. I wish I could, and there was some prominent artists that had spoken about that. Hey man, this event took place that allowed them to be able to build prisons and separate families and make fatherless homes and all of these things that as a community, not just Black, as a minorities community, these things were, they were basically manufactured to destroy the modern American family and how everything works, to create this divide and conquer theory and tactic. And if I could have been a fly on the wall just to hear how that shit, because you always hear about these crazy conspiracy theories, right? Mm-hmm. But to actually hear these artists having that conversation about them and then some of them not making it to where they need to make it to is interesting. I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall to hear how they actually decided to divide and conquer the community through music. That's deep.
Do you hear, have you heard about Professor Griff?
I have.
And then of course, the things that Prodigy talked about.
Yes.
And then of course, DMX is the other one.
Yep.
Am I missing somebody?
Yeah. Nah. I don't know. Go ahead. I choose to keep those types of conversations off camera.
Talk about that. So, I mean, you can go on YouTube. I think one of the members from Bone Thugs and Harmony talks about that.
Correct, he does.
Yeah, we were talking about that about an episode ago, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
The community has been
put
divided.
A lid back on that.
Yeah.
Lid back on. All right. So a bucket list that you haven't done. You want to sleep in a hut on the ocean of Tahiti.
Shit, bro. Tahiti, bro. Them huts that they be in the middle of the water, just fucking surrounded by water. Mm. Yeah. I could do it. I just haven't done it.
Nigga be like,
nah, hey, bro. Let me tell you something.
Might pull up.
I've been to like the Bahamas. I've been to some tropical areas of Mexico, South America, bro. But like when you get out that far in the water, there ain't nothing. It's just ain't no zzz, ain't none of that, nigga.
What about sharks?
I mean, you're in a hut with a glass bottoms, you know. It sounds crazy. Like, I like simple shit, man. Like, you know, a lot of people like, oh man, what you in your book? I want to fucking skydive ass naked with a bucket of chicken.
With a dude on your back.
No Diddy. Like,
Hey, you want some of this KFC?
Get the camera.
it's like you hear people with these crazy ass bucket lists. Like, I'm very simple, man. I feel like, dude, my life has been so fucking crazy at my age. I've been through so much, man. It's like simplicity is everything to me now, dude. I just keep it very, very simple. Like a hut in the middle of Tahiti, bro, with like nobody around you to fuck with you. Like, you know, as you get older, you value your peace, man.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Right?
You got us.
So, you know, you rap. So if you rap, you're familiar with the mic. You do karaoke?
I don't do karaoke.
You don't
I don't do
karaoke.
karaoke. Yeah. That's on
He
that.
said minimize it.
I mean, technically,
he
nope.
he minimized the MC.
I feel like a nigga's ghostwriting for me. It's like, but who the fuck don't karaoke? Who don't rap their favorite rap song
Well,
when they in the
that's
car
what I'm
feeling like you that nigga?
That's
Like,
what I'm saying. Because
you know how many times I done rapped a Prodigy or a Nas verse or a
Triumph by Wu-Tang.
bro? Yeah, nigga. So that's different. Like Triumph from Wu-Tang is that ain't karaoke, nigga. That's musical artwork, nigga. That's theater. Listen. When that video, I don't give a like if you're a hip hop nigga and if you watched that video, they did a premiere on that shit on BET. And the lead up to this video coming out was like, they were like, cause there wasn't no, hey, I'm gonna go to YouTube and just watch the shit. So like when that video dropped, I'll never forget that shit on MTV. And Inspector Deck nigga was stuck to the side of I bomb atomically. When that shit came out, crazy. And then Method Man fucking zooming out to the bees. And brother, that is theater at its finest, bro. Like that I don't consider that karaoke. Any nigga who want to sing a Wu-Tang song, that's art.
Don't
nigga.
do that one.
Yeah, you did. Triumph is the fucking that is the it ain't a real hip hop nigga alive who don't know every fucking word to that song.
Yeah, that's real.
If you are a real hip hop head, you know every fucking word to Triumph. And you're gonna rap it the way they rap it.
That beat was a slap.
See, what's fucked up is that, you know, being 51 years old, I don't know it anymore.
It's the Coca-Cola, Todd.
It's something.
So I listen
Man.
to classical now.
Yeah,
Sean Henderson,
Yes, sir.
Deadeye.
Yes, man.
Thank you for coming on the show, my brother.
Appreciate you, brothers.
Yeah, man.
Thank you. It was a pleasure
Good
being with
stuff.
y'all, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh man.
Thank y'all for having me, man.
Eavesdrop. Audience, I hope you guys enjoyed the hip hop. It was a great conversation, great guest. You guys have a great night. Peace out.
Peace.